Welcome back on the channel. In this video, we're gonna talk about a topic that is so important. It's a topic that, in my personal opinion, is not talked enough. And it's so important, so critical, because it can be very stressful, it can be very harmful, and it can create and attract a lot of negative things in your life. And this is actually something that I used to struggle with, something that was affecting my life quite deeply a couple of years ago. And that thing is being judgmental. This also includes blaming others, blaming yourself, blaming the world, gossiping, criticizing, and any other form of judgment that you may use, and any other form of judgment. And the reason this is so important is that it is almost like a cultural thing. It is something that is so prevalent, something that is happening all the time, something that our mind, our ego thrives on. And we do it so automatically, so habitually, we rarely pay attention of all the judgments, the criticism, the blame that goes on in our mind. But what we don't realize is just how negative and impactful in a negative way it can be on our life, on what we want to create, on what we want to become, and what we want to manifest in our life. And so I want to start this video by reminding you of this powerful quote: "Judge not, or you will be judged as well." And in this channel, we talk a lot about the power of your thoughts, the power of your mind, the law of assumption, the affirmation, visualization, and really creating a state of consciousness to manifest and attract the things that you want. And what people don't realize is that when you have a lot of judgmental thoughts, gossiping, negativity, being toxic and judgmental towards yourself or others, you are also creating new beliefs at the subconscious level. You are also affirming, you are also using the law of assumption or the law of attraction to attract more of those things, where you give your attention, you give your focus, you give your energy, and you use so much repetition often with those judgments all around you that it impresses your subconscious mind. And what you don't realize is that your judgment create a magnetic force that just attract more of similar things and people and situations to reflect those judgments back to you. So in a way, often what we do is that we judge certain things because we don't like it, because we want less of it, because we want to, explain an opinion or something, but we don't realize that we give so much energy to those things that we attract more of those things. Because as you think, so you become, and that is relevant to no matter what you hold in your mind. And so what happened a couple of years ago is that I found myself being very judgmental. I was envious, I was judging, I was blaming, myself, the world, the government, everybody, for the state of the world, for the lack of opportunity, for my situation, for my lack of money, for everything that was happening. And so all those kind of different form of thoughts was keeping me in this negative situation that I didn't like, that I was resisting, that I was trying to change, that I was tired of. But because my thought, my mindset, my attitude, and by default then my projections and my perception was constantly polluted by what was happening automatically in my mind. And this was a habit that was deeply ingrained because of the years of experience, repetition, and energy I had consciously or unconsciously invested in that thought pattern, in being judgmental, in seeing the world like this, and in just perpetuating those thoughts over and over and over again. So you can imagine the negative consequences of wanting to do that. Because if you want to change your life, I often say on this channel that it all starts with your self-image, which is how you see yourself, which is also the belief that you have about the world. And back then, my self-image was so far off from the person I needed to be in order to create what I want: the business, the finance, the confidence, the self-worth, and all the other things that I wanted to create in my life. Because who I was aspiring to be versus who I really was being in that moment was very, very different. And the challenge is that our ego thrives on criticism, on being judgmental. Our ego thrives, it loves it, because our ego likes to be better than. It's that pride paradigm. Yeah, I want to be better than. I don't want to appear weak. I don't want to appear vulnerable. So if somebody has more, I'm either going to be attacking with my thoughts, right? So he's so lucky, or is this, or is that, or I'm going to be belittling in order to make myself feel better. But meanwhile, why I have this attitude, I'm the only one to suffer the consequences, because I am projecting that all those things that person has or that I see outside of myself are not good. And so because of my perception on those things, I am keeping myself away from that situation, even though it might be the very thing that I want or seek as well. So if you want more money, for example, and I was personally very judgmental on people who had nice cars, a lot of money, a lot of success, a lot of clients, a lot of big successful businesses, because I've been taught that rich people are the problem. Rich people are creating all the misery. Rich people are stealing all the opportunity. Rich people are, all the evil comes from that. And if you look at all the movies on Netflix and the cinema, look at how rich people are always shown. Right? There's always a greedy rich people ready to fuck up the world, right? It's rarely the poor crazy motherfucker who's ready to blow up the world. No, it's always a rich person for some reason. So, we have all those cultural beliefs that we then project that we're not aware of. And that comes in so many forms of judgment. So you see, if you want more money, but you're constantly being judgmental or negative toward money, how is that ever going to work? Because what you're magnetizing, what you're creating, what you are affirming is completely different, and that is what you're going to get. Your energy is changing every time you're being judgmental, or you're gossiping, or you're criticizing yourself or others. You're bringing your energy down. It's very hard to be happy, joyful, successful, excited about life when you have a negative attitude. You are the toxic person in that moment, even though you may be blaming others in that moment for being toxic. So that's the irony a little bit. So I was doing a lot of reflecting a couple of years ago on all the ways I was being judgmental, and I was very committed, to change my life, to turn around my finance, to be more successful, to grow my business. And so I decided that along all the other things I was doing to change my self-image, to grow my business, I was also going to do a judgment detox. I was going to do a judgment detox. I was going to appreciate more, and judge less myself and others. I was going to be less gossiping, and I was doing all these bad things less, or as much as possible I would try to eradicate. The challenge is that it is quite hard to completely get rid of it, because even today, even though I've dramatically reduced the amount of blame and judgment and criticism that I have, it's still present. It's still coming when I'm not paying attention. The mind is very quick to create a justification, or to attack a certain condition, or to look at the world and be like, see those evil people, they're making such bad things. So it's very easy to react and to create a story and a judgment. But even if you dramatically reduce your judgment, it will create phenomenal differences in your life. When I started doing that judgment detox, and all I did, by the way, is I started journaling gratitude in the morning, okay, to prime my mind to find things to appreciate. And then whenever I would catch myself judging, gossiping, criticizing, I would stop and I would affirm something positive for that person. Or I would just bless them. Or I would just, one of my favorite things to do was sprinkle some love and light on them and bless them on their way. And that was a habit that I kept for many months. I would walk down in the street and I would consciously just sprinkle love and light on people, to train my mind to bless everybody I was in contact with. And sometimes it's easy and sometimes it was harder. Sometimes it took a lot of energy, a lot of focus, a lot of willpower to really stop that pattern, that loop that was going on in my thoughts. But over time, what I noticed is that I became more compassionate, I became more forgiving, I became more carefree in my own actions, behaviors. I was less afraid of people, rejection and being criticized or laughed at or all these kind of things. This is when I realized that the people who are the most judgmental are often the people who also are afraid of being judged the most, yeah? Being afraid of rejection. So I started to feel more at ease. I started to attract more things. I started to notice my energy was better. I was more at peace, less anxious, less worried, less resentful, less envious. My energy started to change. And as I look back on those last couple of years, how my life has completely changed. My business has grown. My self-image has completely transformed. I'm more confident. I'm more in shape, more healthy than ever before. My business is making more money than ever before. I'm in the best place I ever was in my life right now. And it's getting better and better. And it's this constant and never-ending self-improvement, becoming aware of how you think, your thoughts, your emotion, what you imagine, and your own self-image that brought me where I am and where I'm going. But I cannot emphasize enough how meaningful and powerful it was for me to go on this judgment detox, to really say no more. No more blaming, no more being the victim. That is so critical as well, because every time you judge, you become a victim. If you blame the economy, if you blame the COVID, if you blame this, if you blame yourself, if you blame your past, if you blame the government, if you blame the weather, whatever it might be that you're blaming, judging, or criticizing for your current situation, you are a victim. You forget your creative power. You forget that you can create your own reality. You forget the power of your thoughts, of your attitude, and that you are not limited by anything but by your own state of consciousness. So not only it is so critical to give up the victim game, but one way to do that is to stop being judgmental. So as you can see, there's a lot of benefits in doing this. But one last thing that I think is extremely important to share is that my self-image has greatly benefited from this. Because I noticed something that makes a lot of sense, what I'm going to tell you, but I've noticed this. The more judgmental you are, the more attacking you are toward others, the more your insecurity are strong, right? All your insecurities, all your fears, all your worries have a lot of power on you. And the more your confidence kind of decreases. Because if you're judgmental toward others, you also are toward yourself. You also, chances are, you're beating yourself up, you're feeling guilty, you're feeling not good enough, and you're feeling like you should always do more. So you're always kind of tough on yourself as well. It's very hard to have a lot of confidence, a lot of self-worth, a lot of self-esteem when you have that form of mindset and thought all the time, and you beat yourself up all the time, any chance you get. So as your confidence goes down, your insecurity go up, and you have this dysfunctional loop. The more you have judgment thoughts, the more you attract certain things in your life, the more it feeds on your insecurity, the more you try to force to change your life, the less you're at ease, the more you're worried, the less confidence you feel, the more you feel like a victim, and the cycle never ends. And so you end up trapped here, disempowered, because your own state of consciousness has put you in that disempowered place. Because all you've been doing is disempowering people with your own thoughts. And so the cycle is complete. What you have given has got back to you. So what you give is always what you get. So I want to invite you right here, right now, to go on a judgment diet and to experience the benefits of that as well in your own life. And I invite you to do that for at least 30 days. To notice right here, right now, no matter how judgmental or how little you do it, you can always improve and you can always get the benefits. I want you to just start by being very aware of your thoughts, very aware of who or what you judge, attack, gossip, or criticize the most. There might be a certain type of people, a certain type of situation. It might be money, it might be yourself, it might be, what is it that you attack the most in your thoughts? This is where I want you to practice letting go completely of those attacking thoughts, that judgment. Instead, what you can do is appreciate the other person, the situation, or to simply bless the situation. And I know that sometimes it can be very difficult to do that. So I simply invite you to do it to the best of your abilities, to do it as an experiment, to do it because simply you understand. Because even though you are allowed to have an opinion on a subject, there's no need to create a story, there's no need to react, there's no need to judge anything. You are entitled to your opinion, but there's no need to have a judgment about it or to criticize other people for what they're doing or for what they should be doing or whatever. So as you go through that detox, appreciate others, and you can also imagine, sprinkling some love and light, some goodness, some success, some whatever you want to sprinkle on them that is good, that is loving, that is kind. And when you create this habit over time to bless others, you are going to create a new cycle for you, because what you give is always what you get, and the loop will be fulfilled again. So as you can break that habit for at least 30 days, you will see tremendous benefits. And actually, in my Better Life program, there's a couple of days in the 30 days program that focuses on this judgment detox, that teaches how to detox certain situations, let go of grudges, forgive, compassion, all of these kind of things. And it's one of the favorite things that people go through in the program. And it's also one of the most valuable insight and breakthroughs and shift and change that they experience going through those couple of days of just practicing letting go of judgment. So as you go through that process, you will see the result by yourself. So I'm inviting you to try this on your own, and to remember that if you judge others, you will invite similar judgment back in your life. What you give is what you get. And every judgment, every time you bind yourself to a judgment, especially if you are deeply emotionally entangled with it, you're creating this magnetic field that will keep on attracting people and places and situations that will mirror back to you your own state of consciousness. So let me know what you think down in the comment. Let me know how the experiment goes, how these judgment detox go for you. As always, take some time to like, share, and subscribe to this video. I will see you in my next video. Be well.